بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our discussion about practical wisdom in the Quran. And what we did was we talked about hikmah based on hadith and based on the views of scholars of Arabic language and scholars of Mufradatul Qur'an, those who are experts in explaining the meaning of the terms which occur in the Quran. As you remember, some refer to knowledge when they want to explain the meaning of hikmah. Some refer to stopping from doing jahala, ignorant actions or immoral actions. And some talk about doing things properly and with strengths. So they mention different things. One of the shortest and clearest one was the one that Ar-Raghib had in Mufradat, which said that hikmah is something that relates to reaching haq, truth, with knowledge, ilm, and with aql, with rationality or reason. So now I want to make a conclusion and then inshallah go to the next stage. Based on my humble understanding, and if you want more, then you refer to the series on hikmah, understanding hikmah, wisdom. Based on my understanding, hikmah is certainly related to practice. It has to be practical. It has to be something about real world. You are not hakim if you just have some theoretical knowledge. If you are the best scientist, the best faqih, jurist, the best philosopher, even the best expert on ethics, but this is just a matter of scholarship. You have only studied and taught and done research, have lectures, but you have not been engaged in changing the real world. You are not hakim. Hakim is the one who has knowledge enough to make a proper decision. It's very important. Hakim has enough knowledge to make a proper decision, to choose a proper procedure. Doesn't need to be always expert. but knows for what subject expertise is needed and how to refer to experts. You understand? So, for example, if you want to make a hospital and you are a person who has just studied management, even your field was about managing hospitals, but you have just studied and you got very good result with, with distinction from university, but you have never made any even clinic, let alone hospital. So you are not able to make a good hospital. In addition to studying management, you have to have some experience. And also, you should know that, for example, as a manager for building and construction of hospital, that if, for example, you want to design or contract with people, for example, for making X-ray room or theater for surgeries or outpatient, you must know who are the people that you can consult. You don't need to be expert in all these fields, but you should know that who are the people that you can consult. If you don't consult right people, or you take it easy and say, hospital is like any other building. We make it strong and, big and, wide. Then we bring equipments. This is not hikmah. Or if you say, I have to learn everything myself. I have a real story for you. I hope those people don't hear what I'm saying. So some years ago, there was a project on compiling an encyclopedia. I don't say about which topic and subject, whatever. And for many years, they have been working on compiling this encyclopedia. Tens of people, reading books, making files for each subject, what different, for example, scholars have said about that, and make all ready for researchers who then make interviews and all this. For some years, the project didn't go that well. And at one point, they asked me to be the manager of that project. So I had a meeting with them, and I said, I don't think this is working. Why? I said, your way of doing encyclopedia is like a person who wants to make a building and says first, I have to study philosophy of building and construction. Then after studying philosophy of that, you say, I have to find out what is the best way of doing cement, what is the best way of doing windows, what is the best way of doing this and that. What questions may come to the mind of people? So you look at everything totally from an abstract way, anticipating every question. Maybe the people who have done it wrong. We have to do it correctly from foundation. Everything should be. I said this takes ages and nothing would come out. My idea is no matter the people who have been doing encyclopedia are perfect or not, they have experience. You have to start where other people have reached. Forget what was their philosophy and how accurate it was, and maybe they didn't anticipate some problems. Like people who do softwares, sometimes, we have had this experience. For example, we wanted a software for distance learning. And some people say the existing softwares have problems. And we should make our own software. And I say, okay, I know the existing one have problem. But they have reached a point of 70%, 80% of efficiency. If you start, what's the guarantee that you even reach 70, 80%? Many times, yes.
Reinventing the wheel.
We try to reinvent the wheel, and even we don't reach where other people have already reached. So I told them, when you want to do encyclopedia, first see what other people have done. Choose among them what has been doing well, not perfectly. And then start with some entries that you are sure that an encyclopedia on that subject should have. I don't know if you have this experience or not. To just identify entries is a big task. Once I was busy for many years, and then I unfortunately recently had to quit that project about compiling an encyclopedia for some subject, but not like that, one volume. And one of the tasks was just to decide about entries. But alhamdulillah, we managed to finish that part soon. My idea was that, for example, you say, there are 100 topics that we know we should cover. Ask people to write entries, publish it, get feedback, then next time make it 200. Next time make it 300. Not that you try to make a kind of inclusive list of all entries and then among them choose. So you can compile a list of 10,000 entries and then go through them and choose 1,000. And it takes lots of time. Or you can say, I know these 100 are definitely to be there. Later, in next edition, I make it 200. Anyway, that project is still going on. And the idea that I want to suggest with you is, you don't need to know everything yourself. And actually, many times, it's a waste of time and resources. If you say, I must know the subject myself. Hikmah means you know where you have to consult experts, how to choose who are reliable experts in that field, and how to benefit from the knowledge that they provide you. All of them are very important. If you don't know where to refer, or you know people who are not reliable, or you are bombarded with information and you don't know what to do, this is not hikmah. So, Hakim, if he wants to make a hospital, doesn't need to be expert in everything. Yeah? But should have knowledge, should have experience, and know how to benefit from expertise available. If you are a wise leader, for example, for a community, suppose in a city you are a leader or in a leadership of a community, you want to start Quranic classes, for example. Maybe you are yourself an experienced teacher of Qur'an, maybe you are not. But if you are Hakim and at least you know who are the people who are good in this field, you know how to consult them, how to bring this information together and come up with a plan. But if you think that you know all the things, or you have to yourself go and learn everything, then it's not working. So, Hakim needs to have knowledge. Either he is an expert in that field, or at least knows enough how to deal with the experts and come up with a kind of good understanding based on the advice of the experts. But Hakim is also a person who has ability to set up priorities. What would be the best usage of available resources? Suppose we don't have enough money. What should we do now? Or we have lots of money, but we need it for future. We shouldn't spend every money that we have in this project. Unfortunately, many times, I am very sad, many times people do things just because they have money. If, for example, there is a rich community, they have lots of money, then they think they have to do something with this money. And there is this mentality sometimes that we should give this money, for example, to a central body who monitors all our communities and takes from here and spend on somewhere which is more needed. So in some places we spend lots of money on buildings that might not be used. In some places they don't have any place. But people think because they have money they have to do things. So, how to use our resources? What are our priorities? It's very important. So, Hakim is not just a person who is knowledgeable. No. Hakim is a person that either is knowledgeable or has enough knowledge to collect the required information, but more than anything else, Hakim is the one whose practical aql, practical intellect is strong. He knows how to take you to your destination. He knows what's the best way of using available resources and get something beneficial. If we are traveling with Hakim, because our life is like a journey, not necessarily from one place to another place, but from one position to another position. Yeah? Our life is always like a journey. We as, for example, community in London, we are in a journey. Not moving to another city, but in a journey in our development. From the position that we are to a higher position. When you travel with Hakim, Hakim makes sure that we have a realistic destination, and we are all on the board, and we make the good usage of time and resources, and we reach there. If we are not sure whether we can travel 50 kilometers or not, Hakim doesn't say, let's travel 500 kilometers. Because we want to make a record in the world, you know. If we can make 50 kilometers journey, let's make 50 kilometers. Not less, not more. Hakim has ambition, but realistic ambition. There's a difference between, himma ulul himma and between tulul amal. These are very close to each other. Tulul amal, you have unrealistic desires. But ulul himma means you have right ambition. A student who has teacher, has textbook, alhamdulillah, has memory, has health, should have ambition of getting good result. If you say, I just want to pass the exam because I am very humble and content, qane, this is not good. If you just aim at passing, then there is a great chance that you even may not pass. But this doesn't mean that you have tulul amal. You say, I want to be the best. And then you see that you are not able to be the best. Then either you cheat or you just become despaired. Normally, tulul amal leads to passiveness. Because there is no way to reach that point. Imagine, for example, we are a country, suppose that we are struggling with our basics. And then we want to be the best in the world. This is not ambition. This is lack of wisdom. So, Hakim has ambition, but not unrealistic desires. Imagine, for example, we are in a country that most of people are not able to read and write. Illiteracy. And we say that we want to be the best in sciences. This gets you nowhere. Maybe for some time you enjoy yourself. That in your dreams, you are the best. But what's the benefit? And you can write everywhere. In few years we become the best. This would not give any pleasure to a rational person. But you cannot also say, we are happy with what we are. Or we want very little. So, Hakim has this practical aql that knows what opportunities we have, what resources we have, what chances we have, what our competitors are doing. And then with calculation of all this improves us. And we very much need people who can take us higher, who can improve us. Sometimes I say, we are like a football team. Yeah, every community, every nation, every institution, it's like a football team. In a football team, your success is not just dependent on playing well. Suppose our defense, our halfback, our bowler, all play very well, and they are really tired. They exhausted themselves. They really worked hard, but we didn't manage to strike any goal. What makes you successful is to strike the goal. Sometimes we do lots of things, but not just a little higher to see the fruits. It's very important to see the fruits. If you don't see the fruits, it means that you have made yourself tired. Maybe inshallah you get reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you have not improved the condition. And I don't know if you have this experience. There are people who are very good in this side. Sometimes you, for example, suppose you work with a team of researchers and writers for years and years and nothing comes out. Sometimes you see there are people that quickly produce something good, not something superficial, but they are good in productivity, in bringing something out. It's very important. Because in the end of the day, our results make us successful. Yeah? Not just our efforts without being productive. If you want reward only, okay, you can say, I made lots of efforts. But I think even Allah's reward depends on productivity. It's not just making yourself tired. But certainly in dunya, in the competition that we have with others, it's very important to reach the end result. So, Hakim has knowledge, at least enough to know how to collect required information and expertise, but more than that, has the ability to take us towards a higher level in the way that we meet our priorities, in the way that we don't have wastage, in the way that we don't lose our confidence, or we don't become too proud and arrogant. This is Hakim. We said this. We had this hadith. Qadal Hakimu an yakuna nabiyya. Hakim is very close to be a prophet, because this was exactly what prophets used to do. But we need prophets in every field. We need prophets in our schools. We need prophets in our shops, businesses, in our, transportation. In any field that we have some work, we need wise people. Unfortunately, normally they don't list as a requirement that this person should have wisdom. They say what qualifications needed, but wisdom is not needed. Because perhaps they cannot measure it, or perhaps pardon?
It's very rare to find as well.
Yes, and perhaps they have no hope in finding wise people. I told you once this story, at least some of you, that some people wrote to one of Maraja in Najaf that please appoint this person, this alim in our city, as your wakil. And they didn't receive any reply. They sent letters, but no reply. After some time, some of them went and saw the Ayatollah in Najaf and asked him, we sent you requests and you didn't answer. He said, you told me about his knowledge, about his taqwa, but you didn't tell me about his aql. How rational he is. How wise he is. Actually, we have a hadith also from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This hadith is in Majma'ul Bayan. Athna qawmun ala rajulin inda Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. A group of people praised someone in the presence of Prophet. They praised him. فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم كيف عقل الرجل. How is his aql? How rational he is. How good he is in practical wisdom, practical intellect. قالوا يا رسول الله نخبرك عن اجتهاده في العبادة وأصناف الخير وتسألنا عن عقله. We are informing you about this person. Ijtihad in ibadah means he's very hard working in ibadah. He does lots of ibadah. Recitation of Qur'an, fasting, tahajjud, wa asnaf al-khair. He's doing all good work. And then you ask us about his aql. They were surprised. I think they didn't have this course on practical. Pardon? Then Rasulullah said something which is very important. فقال إن الأحمق يصيب بحمقه أعظم من فجور الفاجر. A person who is stupid, with his stupidity may do things that sinful people don't do, may cause so much of harm that vicious people don't do. Because vicious people are known to be vicious, and people keep guard. But if we have a very nice looking, pious, person who does lots of good things in the community, but he's a stupid, then people follow him, and then he takes us to hell in dunya. So, no vicious person could do this to us. But this person was able to do this. So, إن الأحمق يصيب بحمقه أعظم من فجور الفاجر. With his stupidity, he may reach something which is greater than sinfulness of a sinful person. وَإِنَّمَا يَرْتَفِعُ الْعِبَادُ غَدًا فِي الدَّرَجَاتِ وَيَنَالُونَ الزُّلْفَى مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ عَلَى قَدْرِ عُقُولِهِمْ. Very beautiful. On the day of judgment, tomorrow, people will rise in ranks. Very beautiful. يرتفع العباد غدا في الدرجات. They rise in ranks. وَيَنَالُونَ الزُّلْفَى مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ, and reach nearness to their Lord عَلَى قَدْرِ عُقُولِهِمْ, proportionate to their aql. Not proportionate to their actions. Aql is very important. Yes, this is the same hadith. This is in Mizanul Hikmah, but from Majma'ul Bayan by Tabarsi, Tafsir al-Qur'an. It's very beautiful. Inshallah, I will read for you some more hadith. So, what is very much needed is practical aql, practical wisdom. Theory is important, but not enough. We always need scholars, and we don't have enough scholars. But we very badly need wise scholars. wise leaders. We need activists, but we very badly need wise activists. Not just activists. Some people think activism has its own name. You just act. You act so much, some of them will be useful. Like, for example, a person who has gun, and they say, enemy is coming. So he shoots 360 degrees. Definitely enemy cannot come. But you are, killing many of our own people. And maybe enemy actually is hiding, waiting for you to finish all our people and then come and takes you. This is not wisdom. Activism needs knowledge, needs wisdom, needs humility. If you are not humble, then you can cause more harm. And one thing that I don't understand is why some people who are involved in activism, why they so much attack others. Why they cannot focus on their work. If you are a good teacher, okay, focus on your teaching. You are good in, engineering, on anything. Why you are always doing two things? Attacking enemies and attacking other people in the community. Look, we are the only people who are attacking enemy. And you are not doing anything. We should attack you and we should attack them. Actually, you are worse than them. Why? This is not wisdom. So, anything needs wisdom, especially anything which is socio-political. Some time back, I had discussion with some students in Qom, but from here who study in Qom. And I said, for sure, we should have understanding of politics. Yes, we cannot say we don't bother about politics. We should have very good understanding of politics. We should follow news which are relevant. But we don't need to exercise political act as soon as we go to Jose or as soon as we have a platform. To do politics needs maturity. To give lecture is much easier. But even I don't recommend people to start giving lecture when they just have gone to Jose. I said, learn something, benefit from teachers for some years, at least some maturity. And then based on your level, you start. When I first wanted to go to Tabligh, of course I didn't want to go. My teacher and head of our madrasa said, you must go to Tabligh. I had just finished 2 years. 1 year in Qom, but because of my study in Qom, in Tehran, they accepted me as second year. So I had finished the second year of Jose, but 1 year in Qom. So our head teacher said, you must go for Tabligh. I said, I have just been 1 year in Qom and some in Tehran. He said, no, you must go to for Tabligh, but just go to a primary school. Just speak to the kids about prayer and this type of things. So I listened because for us it's important to listen to our teachers. But I went just to a remote village near city of Bam, in a village, and I gave some lectures to the children in the school and some lectures to the people in the village. But I was very careful not to say anything wrong. I was reading books and So giving lecture needs maturity. And you should be going under the advice of someone. When your teacher says that, I have confidence in you that you can do this much, then you do it. Yeah? How you become, for example, Imam of resident Alam. This is more difficult than giving lecture. Yeah? Giving lecture is much easier than becoming responsible for a community. Then how you become a leader for a community is more difficult than being resident Alam. But I think the most difficult thing is to be involved in politics. Because to be involved in politics needs lots of experience, lots of maturity, lots of ability to control yourself, put your feet on your ego. It's very difficult. Many times, if you are not in control of your ego and anger and selfishness, you end up with doing ghaiba, tuhma, attacking other people, damaging other people, misusing your power. So, certainly we have to be concerned about politics, but this doesn't mean that every person starts, doing political activism or political act. This is where you have to be very mature, very experienced, very much in control of your anger and emotions. If there is any group in the world that they should not be driven by emotions, suppose if there is only one group that should not be driven by their emotions, are politicians. But we see people do politics because of emotions. How it comes? A good politician, even if you swear at him or you flatter him, wouldn't get influenced. Anyway, so many things to say, and my heart is full of, pain. But practical wisdom is the solution. And we need to have knowledge. We need to have maturity. We need to train our practical aql. Let me read for you some hadith and inshallah continue this next week, because tonight unfortunately I have to go earlier because we have majlis. I already read for you some hadith about hikmah from Mizanul Hikmah. Now we want to read some hadith from the section on aql. Mizanul Hikmah, a scale of wisdom. Alhamdulillah, it's available online, English translation, Arabic, all are there. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Qawamul mar'i aqluhu, wa la dina liman la aqla lah." It seems we have not the same religion as Rasulullah. This is number 3,359. Qawamul mar aqluhu. Qawam means what gives you subsistence, what makes you able to survive and stand on your feet is aql. It is with aql that you can stand up. وَلَا دِينَ لَمَنْ لَا عَقْلَ لَهُ. Then the one who has no aql has no religion. There's no faith. Aql is very important. It is true that aql is not one of our usul ad-din or furu ad-din. But this doesn't mean that it's not important. It is not one of usul ad-din or furu ad-din because this is the basis of everything. Because if you don't have aql, la din ala. They say, a person was thirsty and wanted to drink water with a few friends, and one of them was very thirsty and didn't have any glass or cup, so he lied on the floor and wanted to drink water on his stomach. So one of them said, this way of drinking is not good for your aql. He said, what is aql? He said, no problem, you can drink. Don't worry. So sometimes we talk about significance of aql, and some people say, what is aql? Aql is not an issue for us. you know, just for the sake of Allah, go and watch some lectures of some people or some websites or Facebooks for 6 months. And do you see any focus on aql? Any mention of aql? Anything that we have to be rational? For some people, this issue is solved. Totally. It's absent. لا دين لمن لا عقل له. Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam said, Mastawda'allahu imra'an, Mastawda'allahu imra'an, aqlan, illa stanqadhahu bihi yawman ma. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not deposited aql in any person unless someday, one day, Allah has saved him with this aql. Saved him. Istanqadha means to rescue, to save. So it means that for your survival you need aql. Maybe for a few days, maybe for a few months, you don't think that it has been useful or saving you. But aql, sooner or later, is needed. And if you don't have it, you will be destroyed. In another hadith, Amir al-Mu'minin said, I am just selecting, but there are many. Al-aqlu muslihu kull amr. Aql reforms, puts in good order. Islah means to reform, to put in good order everything, every affair. Aql is very important. And as you can imagine, this aql is not theoretical aql. This aql is practical. This aql is not concepts that you read and you talk only. Yeah, it's practical. Inna aghna al-ghina al-aql. Amir al-Mu'minin says the greatest rich is aql. It's better than gold. It's better than money. It's better than jewelry. It's better than assets, building, land. Imam Baqir alayhi salam said, La musibata ka'adam al-aql. There is no calamity like lacking aql. This is a calamity that nothing can compensate. كعدم العقل.
How do you know that you're lacking aql?
Pardon?
How do you know that you're lacking aql?
When you are very confident that you have aql, and you think you understand everything and you can pass judgment on everything, that's the time that shows you lack aql.
Humility is important.
Exactly. Humility is very important. Imam Kazim alayhi salam, in his wasiyah to Hisham ibn Hakam, said, and we have a hadith also from Imam Kazim to Hisham ibn Hakam in Al-Kafi, and alhamdulillah in Shrine of Lady Ma'suma I talked about this 11 sessions. Imam Kazim on intellect. Ya Hisham, ما قسم بين العباد أفضل من العقل. Nothing has been distributed among the servants of Allah better than aql. So in your du'as, please don't ask just for health or long life or money or knowledge. One of the best things to ask from Allah is aql, to increase your aql, to strengthen your aql, and to give you friends who are aql. It's very important. نوم العاقل أفضل من سهر الجاهل. Sahar with ha, not sahar. Sahar means not to sleep. Yeah. A sleeping of aqil is better than tahajjud of jahil. Jahil here means the one who is not aqil, who is not rational, wise. وَمَا بَعَثَ اللَّهُ نَبِيًّا إِلَّا عَاقِلًا. Allah has not sent, has not raised any prophet unless that prophet was aqil. Yes, continue. And again, this is why we said Hakim is very close to prophet. حتى يكون عقله أفضل من جميع جهد المجتهدين. To the extent that aql of prophet is better than efforts of all people who make hard work. Aql of the prophet is better than efforts of all people who make efforts. وَمَا أَدَّى الْعَبْدُ فَرِيضَةً مِّن فَرَائِضِ اللَّهِ حَتَّى عَقَلَ عَنْهُ. No servant of Allah can ever bring about any fariza unless he has understood it properly with his aql. It's not enough you physically do something. You have to understand what you are doing. Pardon? Farida means obligatory action. So any obligatory action, if you want to do it properly and not just the physics of it, you can say prayer without aql. But if you want to do prayer properly, prayer which is tanha an al-fahsha'i wal-munkar, you need to be aqil. You need to be rational. Imam Raza alayhi salam said in a very famous hadith, صديق كل امرئ عقله وعدوه جهله. Friend of every person is his aql or her aql, and his enemy is his jahl. Jahl here is not opposite to ilm. Jahl, when it is opposite to aql, means being unwise. Yeah, because jahl in Arabic, even in English, ignorance sometimes means not to know. Sometimes ignorance means not to act rationally. Jahil either is the one who doesn't know, or the one who knows but doesn't benefit from his ilm. Because it is aql that helps you benefit from your knowledge. Otherwise, رب عالم قتله جهله. There are many people who know, but they are destroyed by their jahl. وعلمه معه لا ينفع, who has the knowledge but doesn't benefit him. We have a very beautiful hadith that I want to start this hadith, and inshallah maybe next week we have to spend on this hadith. Maybe I read it and then explain more next week, inshallah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Sifatul aqil an yahluma amman jahila alay. One of the characteristics of aqil is that he or she is patient with respect to those who wrong him. If some people wrong you, don't react quickly. Don't let them provoke you. إِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامٌ. When jahilun address them, they don't attack them. They don't say the same thing. They say, peace be with you. Yeah? You don't need to fight every person, even if they have wronged you. Yeah? Save your energy for your own work. وَيَتَجَاوَزْ عَمَّنْ ظَلَمَهُ. Aqil is the one that is able to forgive those who wrong him and do injustice to him, oppress him. وَيَتَوَاضَعَ لِمَنْ هُوَ دُونَهُ. Aqil is the one who is humble. For whom? Before people who are lower than him. We see people who are not humble even before people who are higher than them. A young person is not humble before elderly people. A junior talaba is not humble before ulama. Hadith says Aqil is humble even before people who are lower than him. You see the contrast? وَيُسَابِقُ مَنْ فَوْقَهُ فِي طَلَبِ الْبِرِّ. And with respect to those who are above him, he has competition in seeking goodness. Not competition in power or money. In seeking goodness. وَإِذَا أَرَادَ أَنْ يَتَكَلَّمَ تَدَبَّرَ. Aqil is the one that if he wants to speak, tadabbara, reflects. You know, tadabbur means to see end of things. Yeah, it comes from dobor, means when you are talking, but you have to be able to foresee end results, outcomes, consequences, reactions. What I am, pardon? To anticipate, yes. And sometimes predict what is going to happen if I say it or don't say it, or if I say it in this way or that way. Yeah, you have to, and if you are not clear, you keep silent. Yeah? If you are not sure that what you should say or whether you should say, you keep silent. This is a rational requirement. Inshallah, we will talk about it. So, إِذَا أَرَادَ أَنْ يَتَكَلَّمْ تَدَبَّرَ. He thinks. فَإِنْ كَانَ خَيْرًا تَكَلَّمَ فَغَنِمَ. If the result is that this is good, he speaks and he benefits from. وَإِنْ كَانَ شَرًّا سَكَتَ فَسَلِمَ. And if the result of his evaluation is that this is not good, he keeps silent and saves himself. So, it's like, your money. Either you see it's a good place to invest, you invest and make money, or you are thinking that it's not a good place, you don't invest and you save your money. So, you have to make money or save money. In our socio-political life also, when we speak, either we should add to our credit or at least save our credit. وَإِذَا عَرَضَتْ لَهُ فِتْنَةٌ. And if a fitna comes on his way, استعصم بالله, would ask Allah for protection. وَأَمْسَكَ يَدَهُ وَاللِّسَانَ. And when there is fitna, you should keep your hand and tongue under control. Because fitna is when things are clouded and ambiguous. In fitna, you have to be very careful. Sometimes in fitna, you attack, but then you don't see that you have attacked your own father. You have attacked your own teacher. So you have to be very careful. كُنْ فِي الْفِتْنَةِ كَابْنِ اللَّبُونَ. Amir al-Mu'min says, in fitna, you should be like ostrich, the bird. لا ظهر لها فيركب ولا ذرع لها فيحلب. People cannot ride on back of it and cannot also take milk from it. Yeah, so in fitna you have to be careful, not let anyone use you. وَإِذَا رَأَى فَضِيلَةً تَحَزَّهَ بِهَا. If he sees there is a merit, he would try to take opportunity and benefit from it. لَا يُفَارِقُهُ الْحَيَاءُ. Aqil can never be found without haya, modesty, a good sense of shame, yeah, positive shame. Haya is positive shame. Aqil is not a shameless person. Aqil is very modest, polite, respectful. وَلَا يَبْدُو مِنْهُ الْحِرْصِ. Aqil is not greedy. فَتَلْكَ عَشْرُ خِصَالٍ يُعْرَفُ بِهَا الْعَاقِلِ. These are 10 characteristics that you can understand who is aqil with these 10 characteristics. Inshallah, bi'iznillah, we will expand on these next week. But just think about it and review. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to develop the gift of rationality and wisdom in ourselves and in our community, and to be given wise friends, wise associates, wise allies, wise helpers, wise leaders. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to go together with maximum unity towards, inshallah, the heights of perfection and prosperity in dunya and akhirah. Inshallah.